الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. Today the halaqah is more around death in a way, because the ayah 259 in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah Azza wa Jal gave example of a man, and this man was Uzair. Uzair was one of the is not a prophet, one of the holy guys with Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, who some of the Jews take him as son of God. وقال اليهود عزير ابن الله, while he is obviously not. So Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned him without the name here. أو كالذي مر على قرية وهي خاوية. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أو كالذي مر على قرية وهي خاوية على عروشها قال أنى يحيي هذه الله بعد موتها فأماته الله 100 عام ثم بعثه قال كم لبثت؟ قال لبثت يوما أو بعض يوم. قال بل لبثت 100 عام فانظر إلى طعامك وشرابك لم يتسنه وانظر إلى حمارك ولنجعلك آية للناس وانظر إلى العظام كيف ننشزها ثم نكسوها لحما فلما تبين له قال أعلم أن الله على كل شيء قدير. So this Al-Uzair, when the straightforward like meaning in English, then we'll go for details inshallah, or take an example or similitude to the one who passed a hamlet all in ruin to its roofs. Is actually not ruined to its roof, it's ruined on top of its roof. So what happens if you have a building, the roof will be there, and then the column carrying the roof. Imagine this 4-dimension. The roof rotten and drops, become here, and the columns fall on top of the roof. So it will be khawiyatun, ruined on top of its roof. So roof the arish, khawiyatun ala urushiha. So what happened now? The last you build, the first get destroyed, and then the roof, then the columns, and then the floor and things. So khawiyatun ala urushiha, and he wondered, how shall Allah bring it ever to life after its death? But Allah caused him to die for 100 years, then raised him up again. And he said, Allah said to him, how long have you been dead? How long you stayed in here? How long have you been here? And he said, Uzair said, perhaps a day or part of the day. Now what happened when he died for 100 years? Allah made a miracle in two ways. The donkey he had was dead and became bones, and the food he had remained fresh, which should be the other way around. If you leave the food for a day or two, the day will get rotten, while the donkey will be as he is. Nothing, he will not die in a day or two. But it's the opposite. The opposite happened. The donkey was bones, all the flesh gone, and everything gone, and food still fresh. So that's really puzzling. So he said to him, look at your food and your drink, still fresh. لم يتسنى. And look at your donkey, which is bone, thrown. The donkey died, and 100 years passed for that donkey. So he's just left just bones and that remain of him. And he said to him, وَلِنَجْعَلَكَ آيَةً لِلنَّاسِ, will make you a sign for people. And then he asked him to look into the izam, the bones, how Allah Azza wa Jal will set it up, cover it with flesh, and then cover it with the skin, and make it a living donkey again. Now, when Allah brings us back to life, it won't be like this life, a fetus and grown up. You will be brought back to life 30 years old, and you will be grown out of the ground like a plant, assembled and up. So that's a semblance of the dead, the day of judgment. And this is the way. He will set you up, your bones, and then flesh and blood and skin, and you're back, a human being. And there's another ayah, ما خلقكم ولا بعثكم إلا كنفس واحدة. ما خلقكم, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, ولا بعثكم إلا كنفس واحدة. Better bring it to you, so you have visualize in front of you. So ما خلقكم ولا بعثكم إلا كنفس واحدة إن الله سميع بصير. And your creation or your resurrection is no wise but as an individual soul. For Allah, He hears and sees all things. ما خلقكم, neither your creation. I would choose different English, I think. Then they chose.
Complicated.
Yeah. ما خلقكم was Luqman 28. Luqman 28. So, and if it was whatever, no, your creation and your resurrection will not be but as that of a single soul. It's better English, isn't it?
Yeah.
Indeed, Allah is hearing and seeing. So it's not difficult. It's like, that was probably difficult for the Sahaba became better than us without knowledge, without science around them. But when Ford wanted to have the production line, then he would be cars, and they get the cars come metal from this end and driven from that end. So man became like easy to. So Allah Azza wa Jal said, ما خلقكم لا. So it's easy for Allah Azza wa Jal to bring us back to life. So that's what He said. You will see how we will bring back the donkey and dress it with flesh and blood and skin and things. And then He went back and He said, I know Allah is able to do all things. I just was keen to see how it is done. So when He went back to His people, they wouldn't recognize Him. He was still 50 years old. While when He arrived there, His son was 100 years old. The speed of light travel, the travel to the future. So He came. And only left from His family, from the people who knew Him, was His Amma, His slave. And His slave, she said, there's 4 knows the Torah by heart. It was Musa and Isa and Uzair and another one, Yamun, something like this. So she said, if he is Uzair, he could ask Allah Azza wa Jal to cure my blindness. She was blind. And he prayed to Allah Azza wa Jal and she recovered her eyesight. And she said, Uzair knew Torah from end to end. So if you are Uzair, says, oh, he is Uzair, and he knows the Torah and he read the Torah. So the 2 signs that he is Uzair was Allah Azza wa Jal accepted his dua and she recovered her eyesight. and he was memorizing the whole Torah from end to end. And then his son, he said, there is between the shoulders of my father, there were a mark there, birthmark, and it was there. So this is the time, if you want to ask, can a son be older than his father? Yes. Uzair's son was. So they accepted, yes, that, Allah Azza wa Jal took him through the time. He was dead for 100 years and brought back to life. But the ultimate, infinite power of Allah Azza wa Jal, that He kept the drink and the food fresh, while the donkey was skin, not even, there's no skin, just bones lying on the floor. And how Allah can freeze things. We were discussing last week, Tawheed, that you need to really accept Allah Azza wa Jal is the one who brings things from nothing. You don't have, you're not even expected to know what Allah is. And whatever you think Allah is not. So you wouldn't know how Allah do it. And because He's done it, He created all this universe. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, وَجَّهْتُ وَجْهِيَ لِلَّذِي فَطَرَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. I turn my face to the one who created the heaven and earth, and he used the word fatara, from nothing. Just like this, it was there. إنما أمرنا إذا أراد شيئا إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا يقول له كن فيكون. So be and it is. And that's and we said last week, the true belief that you will never know anything about the essence of Allah, the nature of Allah. And if you do, it's wrong. You can't. And how Allah Azza wa Jal frees something like this for 100 years, remained intact. Not even a freezer. He didn't use a freezer or anything. And the donkey was bones, and Uzair came back the same age. And the same when you look into the people of the cave, they slept for 309 years. When they woke up, like Uzair, how long have you been asleep? Say a day or a day and a half. Because there were nothing changed in them. When somebody drew them as caricature, but it's wrong. He put long beard, which is not long hair. Why it's wrong?
They were young.
But why it's wrong? From the Quran, it's wrong.
They haven't changed.
Why? What's the verse to say they haven't changed? Yeah, they said we slept a day or a day and a half. Because if they slept a week, the beard will be a bit longer. If you bury somebody with a clean shave and come and open the grave after 2 days, you will see just a bit of beard growing. So even if he's dead, on the cell level, they don't die very quickly. It could be a week before all the cells die. So he said, and this is the same with this Uzair, he said, قال كم لبثت؟ قال لبثت يوما أو بعض يوم. So nothing changed in him. Not the food even changed. So when he looked at the food, looked at himself, nothing, day and a half. While when he looked to the left, the donkey's bones, even if it's eaten by animals, it wouldn't be like clean bones, usually animals leave a bit of meat here and a bit of meat there. There will be the insects who will finish it up, and the germs and things. And then Allah Azza wa Jal brought another example, how Allah Azza wa Jal bring living creatures back to life. And here quoted Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ رَبِّ أَرِنِي كَيْفَ تُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى كَيْفَ. So you want to know how Allah Azza wa Jal bring dead people or dead animals, dead creatures back to life. He said, how? كيف تحيي الموتى. قال أولم تؤمن قال بلى ولكن ليطمئن قلبي. Now you need the ilm, the knowledge you get. Either you get knowledge by ilm, عين, علم اليقين, علم اليقين وحق اليقين, عين اليقين. العلم, I'll write in English. knowledge by reading or studying or hearing. And the next level, the second level, is seeing. And the third level, living it. So you could be a doctor, you know what the illness is and what symptoms they will have, whatever. And you could see a patient and say, yes, he's high temperature and he's weak and he's coughing and he's this and that. That ainul yaqeen, you see with your own eyes. And haqqul yaqeen, when you live the knowledge. When the doctor himself become ill, the same illness, oh my God, it was really horrible for that patient. I didn't take it seriously. So some of you might have not gone to to Mexico City or something. You heard about it, you know it exists, you saw some picture, but you flew over Mexico, that Ainul Yaqeen, you've seen it. It's actually there, small cars there, and somebody pointed, this is Mexico City. And then on the way back, you stopped in Mexico, and we went to do some shopping and moved around the street and shopping center and the market and city center. Now that's Haqqul Yaqeen. Jahannam is Ilmul Yaqeen. We know Jahannam exists. Ainul Yaqeen, when the Muslim or those who have to pass over the Sirat see Jahannam. Ainul Yaqeen. And they see it does exist there. And Haqqul Yaqeen, those who drop in Jahannam and get buried. And that's in Surah which surah? Haqqul Yaqeen. الواقع. End of Surah Al-Waqi'ah. Haqqul Yaqeen. إن هذا لهو حق اليقين. This is the truth and certainty. So Surah Al-Waqi'ah. So الحق اليقين in الواقع. عين اليقين. Where's عين اليقين? تكاثر. حتى زرتم مقابل كلا سوف تعلمون ثم كلا سوف تعلمون كلا لو تعلمون علم اليقين لترون الجحيم ثم لترونها عين اليقين. But you don't see it حق اليقين inshallah, none of us. So will be حق اليقين will be the kafirin who go inside according to Surah Al-Waqi'ah. So Ibrahim, he said, how? Show me how. He said, he didn't have the belief. He said, yes, I had the belief that Ilmul Yaqeen, and I said he didn't have the Ainul Yaqeen. He wanted to see it done in front of him. So the true belief, that's it. But he said, I want to really be convinced and assured that, yes, there is a way, this way and that way. Obviously, the way Allah created the creation, we've seen it. I mean, you put an egg, we had a hen and sat on 21 eggs and for 3 weeks became chicks. My wife, 9 months and a baby born. So you've seen how the creation comes, but to see how it's recreated, that's what Ibrahim wanted to see. And he said to him, he didn't do it for him, the ultimate power of Allah Azza wa Jal, that which we don't have, like a brain surgeon, you say, how do you operate and remove the tumor from the brain? And he had you the scalp and he had you the scissor and think you do it. No, I can't do it. I want you to do it in front of me. I'm not trained. But Allah said to Ibrahim, okay, take 4 birds, and they said the birds different. Cut them into pieces, muddle them together, put on each mountain some of the pieces, and call them. They will walk to you. He didn't say they fly. Why didn't say they will fly?
The wings.
They have wings.
After you cut them up. And because they mixed.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't mistake the birds because
Yeah.
they're flying.
Because sometimes could be flying birds. No, they were flying. Suddenly, by chance, there were birds flying. So you see The same pieces they came joined together and came to him. So Allah Azza wa Jal, the mighty of Allah Azza wa Jal, that He gave him the ability. I'm not going to do it for you, I will make you do it. ثم ادعهم فخذ أربعة من الطير, the 4 birds, أنصرهن إليك, cut them into pieces, and put on all, ثم اجعل على كل جبل منهن جزءا, leave a piece on each mountain, ثم ادعهن يأتينك سعيا, call them back. That Ibrahim called them back. And that shows the ability of Allah to do what? What's your question?
Which mountains were it? Is it stated anywhere which mountains they were?
When I, inshallah, one day die and meet Ibrahim alayhi salam, I will ask him for you. I'll send you a text message from Allah doesn't talk about names which are relevant to know or not know. Or He said that few youngsters went to the cave, slept for 300 days. He didn't tell us how many of them, what's their names, what's the name of the city, what's the name of the king. It's irrelevant. You don't need to know.
Not the number.
Hmm.
You don't know the number.
He said يقولون ثلاثة. They say 3 and the dog is number 4. They say 5 and the dog number 6.
Yeah.
They say 7 and the number 8. قلنا سبعة and the dog is number 8.
Don't follow them.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Muslims hate dogs, but these people had dogs. And the dog was with them. He slept for 309 years. Who is the longest dog lived on earth? Was that dog? He lived 900. Anyway, that to show him what?
He can give power to his creation.
But what Allah used to bring them back to life?
Recreation, the power of recreation, like this.
What did he do? He went to every pieces and stuck them together?
We called them.
Just called them. ادعهم, come, and they came. So all of us, the day of judgment will be just a sound from Allah Azza wa Jal. You be and we will come. We will all come out of the graves, out of the ground. The Prophet ﷺ was sitting and Abu Bakr was on his right and Umar was on his left, and he took their hands and he said, this is the way we will come out of the graves the day of judgment. The 3 of us. Subhanallah, who knows that Abu Bakr will be buried next to him? Because he could have gone out to Syria or Egypt or somewhere. And the same Umar, 10 years, 12 years later, he could die anywhere. But Allah Azza wa Jalla, He knows that they will be buried next to the Prophet, and the Prophet told, this is the way we come out. The 3 of us. So that's the way. ثم ادعهن, just kun fayakun, be and it is. So all His creation is order. It's the same we mentioned last week. Isa kalimatuhu, the order of Allah, be. That's the word. They took the word, Yohanna Dimashqi, they tried to mess with the Quran. It's just the word is a word. It's the order. Yeah, be and it is. That's the word. وكلمة منه, be and existed. وَعْلَمْ اللَّهَ, be aware, be knowledgeable that Allah is Aziz. What Aziz mean? Is one of His kind. Everybody need Him, and there's only one Him. Nobody, everybody need Him, and no one can reach Him. Allah Azza wa Jal said, لن تنالوا ضري فتضروني ولن تنالوا نفعي فتنفعوني. You can't reach me to benefit me, and you can't reach me to harm me. So one of the questions in the homework, which I still need to receive it from some student, can you steal from Allah? So the answer, don't tell dua. I haven't received your homework yet. Can you steal from Allah?
No.
Why not?
Because Allah.
Okay, next week. Bring me the answer next week. And then Allah Azza wa Jal moved to the topic of the donation and charity and giving, and that will be inshallah next week if Allah Azza wa Jal wish and kept us alive. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We'll freeze for a couple of minutes and come to the topic.